let's get started. I'm going to just zoom in a little bit more. And remember, your ribbon colors do not matter. So I'm just going to show you. I wrote down notes because this was from our bow challenge. Who took our bow challenge? This is our workbook from our bow challenge. And I like to just quickly make notes because you guys will always ask me, how many yards of ribbon? Okay, so the first layer that we're going to do is going to be 1.5 yards. The second layer we're going to do is going to be 1.5 yards. And then the last layer is going to be 26 inches. So remember the bow that we made yesterday with this one, I said to you, you'll need 3.5 yards, which did include the streamer on the back. However, the bow we're making today is going to need a little bit more ribbon than that one because of the additional streamers that will come along with it. All right, so let's get started. Get your wire ready always, and we're just going to make a couple of bows using this same exact technique, hopefully reinforcing the procedures and techniques that you learned from me yesterday. All right, here we go. This is, again, 1.5 inch ribbon. Did I just drop my ribbon on the floor? Oh. This is 1.5 inch ribbon, both of them wired. Here we go. All right, the first thing we're going to do is start with a little 7-inch tail. And then let me make sure we are zoomed in. And I'm going to try to get my, please clear it off a little bit more. I need to clean up already. I have got you should see behind the camera. It is way too busy right now. All right, we're laying our ribbon down on our mat to 12 inches. I like to use a mat to show you that you can make a perfect bow if you had a ruler. You don't have to have a mat, you can use a ruler. I learned by using my arm, which is roughly 12 inches. If you're going to make a 24-inch wreath, 24 to 30 inch, maybe not quite 30 inch, but like a 24-inch teardrop swag, this is a great size for you for that type of project. Okay, so you're going to lay down to the 12 inch, and you're going to bring this away from you, and you're going to pinch it into your 2 fingers. And when I pinch, I pleat it. That helps to create this little pucker right there, okay? So that's what I mean is I pinch and I pleat into my 2 pointer fingers. Now, as I start to make the bow, this is going to gradually move closer to the palm of my hand. But for the most part, I start right here. Don't grip too tightly, because if you do, you'll start to get a little bit of a cramp right here. And just know, if you are starting to cramp up, it could be 2 things. Number one, you just need to work this muscle a little bit more by making more bows, but mainly it's you're holding it too tightly, and you need to just relax your hand. You want to hold it tight enough that this doesn't fall out, but you'll still be able to pull on it, and it could come up and down, okay? So once you make your first loop and you've laid it down, and when I say lay it down on your mat to 12 inches, that is 12 inches from tip to tip, meaning when you fold it in half, it actually produces a 6-inch loop, okay? So this is a 6-inch loop. We measured 12 inches on the mat, took it away from us, and now I'm going to twist my ribbon towards me. So anything below your thumb, twist the ribbon towards you. Anything above your thumb, twist the ribbon away from you, okay? So here we have our ribbon. You're just twisting so that the good side of the ribbon faces forward. If you don't twist, you'll have to do it a different way. But we're going to twist. I'm doing all of it twisting. All right, and then what we're going to do is lay it down on our mat and measure out to the 12 inches and take it away from us. And again, pleat into those 2 fingers right there. And then we're going to twist away from us, lay it down on our mat to the 12 inches, take that away from us, and then pinch it into those 2 fingers, all right? So at this point, I've got 2 loops above my thumb, 1 loop below my thumb, and don't forget to twist right here. All right, so here is what it looks like, what I'm holding on the back side. So you can see that I've sort of put this other finger as a support, but I'm holding everything with my pointer and my thumb, okay? So now what we're going to do is incorporate our second ribbon pattern. This is why we're doing the video. Everybody wanted to know how to incorporate a second ribbon. What we've done, so this was 1.5 yards. This is 1.5 yards, all right? So what we need to do to make this different is we can't start it the same way. We can't, I mean, I guess we technically could put our ribbon going in the same direction. What I like to do at this point is switch it up, all right? So that when I'm finished with this ribbon, I then have 2 loops below my thumb and 1 loop above my thumb. So we're sort of reversing what we've done here, okay? So remember, we start with a little 7-inch tail, and you're just going to pleat into those 2 fingers. All right, you're going to lay it down on your mat to the 12 inches. Take it back away from you, and now you're going to pinch. Okay, and let me show you, this is how I'm holding it now on the back side. Do you see how my fingers sort of shifted? As soon as they did that, I thought, oh, well, let me show you. So this is the front side, okay? So when you make your loop, did I twist? I can't remember. Yes, I twisted. Then you're going to lay it down to 12 inches, take it away from you, pinch. Then you're going to twist that tail towards you to make the good side. Then you're going to lay it down again to the 12 inches, take it towards the back, pinch, and twist. So at this point, you want to sort of shift things around. So I like to move these up a little bit and incorporate them into the bow. So you see how now we have 2 of these loops, the stripe below our thumb, and then we have 1 stripe above our thumb. So below our thumb, we've got a total of 1, 2, 3 loops. Above our thumb, 1, 2, 3 loops. And then just take these streamers behind the loops, okay? All right, so this is what our bow looks like now. It's starting to look very fun and whimsical. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is the last stream, or this part. I forgot we're going to do one more streamer on the back. Here is this one. This is going to be our last loop. I like to create 7 loops with this bow recipe. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. At this last bow, it doesn't matter where you started if you reversed the inner, this one. If you didn't reverse this one, you're going to have to reverse that one. So I just like to repeat the first layer and start. I guess we'll start it this way. It doesn't really matter. All right, and then we're going to make sure this tail goes towards the back, and we're going to make our 12-inch loop, wrap it around towards the back, pinch it, and then remember to twist. Okay? And at this point, I like to move this loop. Remember, this is why you don't hold it too tightly, because you're going to have to move things around. Now we've got that in our middle, and that will be our center loop. I'm glad you guys asked me this last night after the video in your comments about using the two ribbons, and this is exactly what I do, okay? So once you've got this, you're going to flip it over. Here's what it looks like in the back, and I'm going to take my pointer finger, lift it up. Let me get that over there. Bring it around towards the front. Reposition to the center. The wire. This is where I make sure all of my loops are good and the ribbon is intermingled with each other, so we don't have a lot of one color on one side, if that makes sense. Make sure the tails or the streamers are on the back side, twisted the right way, and then this is when I secure. So I'm pulling the ribbon towards me and the wire away from me at the same time as I as I twist the bow. I was reading somebody's comment. You guys are fast and furious with your comments, and I'm trying to do this and read them. All right, so at this point, you notice that I didn't add an additional tail like I did this when we were making the 1 ribbon bow. That's because we've got a lot of tails, don't we? So I don't feel like you need to add another one. If you want to, you can. A lot of you were asking, well, what if you wanted a long streamer? At that point, you definitely could add, a tail at the very end before you twist it. You could add another long streamer so you could have long tails if that's what you like. But now what we do is we dovetail the ends by just folding and then trimming. So this just gives a little polished look. All right, so here's that. Isn't that cute? Let's do it one more time. And then I'm going to show you how to do something else. Why not put the wire through the center loop? I did. Oh, because the center loop is not, when you end with the center loop, you don't have a tail up, you don't have your ribbon tail on the top and on the bottom. They're both on the top. See, this is the center of the bow. This is the center of the bow. This is the same reason why you didn't put it through the center on the one ribbon bow. All right, you're making the exact same bow, but you're just instead switching ribbons, okay? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on this side, 1, 2, 3 loops on this side, and that's the center. So if I put it through the center loop, then half of that loop wouldn't even be attached. Great question. Okay. Now, let me show you. So last night we also used this to make a bow, and I'm going to use this one. I'm going to show you what I would do. I haven't cut anything, so I wanted to just give you a quick example. I like making sure that when you're pairing the colors that they coordinate well. So you see we had blue and white in both of these. This is gray, and we're going to add in a little red with the gray plaid attached. Or woven in, I should say. All right, so we've got our wire ready. We're going to start with our streamer of about 7 inches. Pinch it into your 2 fingers, pleating as you pinch it in. And then we're going to lay it down on the mat for 12 inches. Take that loop away from us and pinch and pleat. And then what you're going to do is twist. Let me get that a little bit better there. Now you're going to lay that down to 12 inches. Take it to the back, pinch, twist, away from you. Lay it down on your mat to 12 inches. Take that loop away from you, pinch into your fingers, twist, and then trim off your bolt. Remember not to transfer from hand to hand because that's when you'll make mistakes. It'll come loose. All right, so now I'm going to incorporate my next ribbon, which I'm going to start with a 7-inch tail, and I'm going to pleat. I'm going to lay it down on my mat to 12 inches, take it to the back. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking, well, why are you twisting if this is going to be the same on the front and the back? The reason you twist is to give that little bit of depth to the ribbon, okay? If you don't twist, it tends to be a little bit flatter. And if you twist, it gives it a little bit of lift. All right, the same thing, 12 inches. Now, at this point, let's go ahead and trim this. You know, you could twist, trim. See, this is what it looks like, but I need to intermingle these loops by taking the streamer, putting it behind the loops, moving my loops over in front, all right, and this is what we've got. So now we've got 3 loops below our thumb and 3 loops above our thumb. Making sure, so this one looks a little bit, see how I was looking at this bow loop and I was like, well, it's a little bit longer than this one. So let me move it, and I was able to pull it and shorten it before I even secured it. So make sure you don't have such a strong hold that you can't adjust. All right, so now we've got that. We're going to switch back to our first ribbon. This is pretty. This is pretty on this side, but look, it's pretty on this side too. So you could almost switch it up and do it on the back side. All right, let's just do it this way. Make our 12-inch loop, right? And do you see how both streamers are on one side of your thumb? Your thumb is where your wire needs to go when you attach it. So keep that in mind. So that's why you need to make sure that you don't put the wire through the loop. It actually needs to go under the loop. Trim that. Move that loop that you just added towards the front. Okay. And then you're going to grab your wire. Turn it over, lift your finger, and roll the wire around. And again, this is where I decide, like, where do I want things to go? I want to shift things, or if I want to fluff things, or like this one needs to be turned around. You know, that's what I look at. And then before I twist it off, remembering when you twist, you're going to pull towards you with the ribbon and your wire away from you, towards the wall, away from you. And then twist the bow. All right, so then at this point is where you can trim your ribbon. So this Dupont came from Sims Wholesale, and then this one came from Greenery Market. Now the Dupont cannot be dovetailed. Do you see how it frays right here on the end? So I'm going to trim that off just to make it a little bit nicer. But instead of dovetailing, I'm going to roll. You can roll this down, and that will give it a finished edge. And since I'm doing the same thing here, instead of dovetailing, all I'm going to do is cut this at an angle. You could, if you wanted to add another red streamer at the back, you could have done that, just like we did the bow yesterday, just to mix up the color a little bit. And then here's the other side. We're just going to roll this. Isn't that pretty? So this is how you're incorporating it too. Do you ever zip tie your bows? I never zip tie my bows, and let me tell you why. Because the wire is what I use to attach this onto my wreath, onto my Christmas tree, onto my teardrop swags, onto my lamp post, onto my mailbox. This is what I use. When I ship this to a customer, I want them to be able to take this on and off as they need to and reuse it over and over again. And you guys, when you're storing your ribbons after the holidays, all you have to do is fold them just like this, exactly where they're at, fold them flat, and then you can store your bows flat. And another reason why we use the wired ribbon, for me, then when I pull them out of storage the next season, all I have to do is fluff them. I know a lot of people will put tissue in the loops, but to me that's just a waste of space. We got a lot of Christmas decor, don't we, to store? And the smaller we can make our Christmas boxes, the happier our husbands are, because they're the ones that have to tote those things around. Let me show you how I would do the same bow using a 1.5 inch ribbon. And then I'll show you, I'll give you another example. All right, so here I'm going to use, which one? I think I'm going to, ooh, this looks pretty together. I kind of like that. I was going to use this. Let's use this one. Because we got like something that emulates snow, and then this one has the snowflakes. So one of the reasons this is a good technique is because, let's say, for example, you want, you know, the gray and red, or maybe you want the red and the white, and you don't have enough ribbon to make a complete bow like this. So if you use this technique, you just need a little bit. You don't need a whole, you know, 3 or 4 yards. You're welcome, Ingris, and thank you for watching. Let's see, are we gonna have enough? We've already made, this is like the 3rd bow I made with this 10 yards. All right, so we're making our little 7-inch loop, tail right here. I'm gonna go a little faster because we went very slow at the beginning. 12 inches, take it to the back and pleat into your fingers. Twist this tail towards you. Lay it down to 12 inches. Take it to the back, pleat, twist away from you. lay it down to 12 inches, take it towards the back, pleat, and then twist towards you. And now I'm going to trim. So here is where I'm going to incorporate now a 1.5 inch. So I'm switching it up from 2.5 to showing you how to do 1.5. So all I'm going to do is reverse the exact same thing I did by starting above my thumb. So right now we've got 2 loops above our thumb and 1 loop below our thumb. And both of the streamers are below the thumb. So we're going to add our 7-inch streamer and pleating it into our 2 fingers. Lay it down on our mat to 12 inches. Take it to the back, pleat, and twist. I'm getting all tangled up. Lay it on the mat to 12 inches. Take it to the back, pinch it into our fingers, twist towards us. Another 12 inches. Take it to the back, pleat, twist away from us, and then trim. So now this is what it looks like. And we're going to just intermingle these 2 ribbon patterns together. All right, so that means I'm going to take my 1.5 inch and I'm going to move it upwards. All right, these are our 1.5 inch loops. Move it up, move our streamers towards the back. So at this point, we've got 3 loops above our thumb and then 3 loops below our thumb. Just like that. Now what I want to do is incorporate this next ribbon. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Doesn't matter for this ribbon if you start this way or if you start this way. Okay, that one doesn't matter. I'm just adding 1 loop. 12 inches, take it to the back, pleat, and twist. So at this point, this ribbon is all the way to the back of my palm. And I'm going to go ahead and add 1 streamer of this. Remember we talked about it at the last time we made our bow? I'm adding 1 more streamer of this to the back because what that will do is it will incorporate more of that color. All right? This is what we've got. Get your wire, flip it over, lift up your finger to add the wire, and then roll the bow around. So you alternate the twisting of the ribbon towards you and away from you. Yes, correct. And now you're going to twist the bow. If you always twist the bow, you know the the wire will be tight. All right, so here is our bow with our streamers towards the back. And what I want to do is trim this. Just mix these up. So you can dovetail. Dovetail. I'm using a 22 gauge wire. We have a lot of basic wreath making tutorial, including what tools I use on our website, Southern Charm Wreaths, and you want to click Start here, and then click on Wreath Maker, Beginner Wreath Maker. And we've got tutorials and what tools I use, what glue I love, and all that stuff is on our website. All right, so you see how we made this one? So here is the one with the other 2. Here's the first one that we made, all with the same technique. And it's actually the exact same technique I used when I made this one yesterday with 1 ribbon. All right, one last one that I want to do for you guys, and then I got to go get on a conference call. And then actually, I have a meeting today with some ladies in my area. And guess what I'm doing? I'm going to teach them how to make a bow. So this is warming me up for the day. All right, so if you have problems with your bows, just keep practicing. It really does help. All right, here is a good example of some more expensive ribbon. So this is from D. Stevens. I think they're both from Well, maybe not this one. Yeah, it probably is. It's pretty thick. So if you, for example, have some very expensive ribbon, this is a great technique to use because then you can use just a little bit. Instead of making the whole bow with it, you can just use a little bit. But let's go ahead and add this. You can see how thick this is. Is this even wired? Yeah. All right. And this is very thick, and it's actually got the gold on the back. How pretty is that? Okay, we're going to do this one more time. Well, Penny, I'm here for you, girl. You can just watch the video. So I'll let y'all know when we have our bow making class again. Because we did a lot of this online, and I gave them this whole packet that had all of everything written out, all the recipes with the multiple ribbon bows. There's so many, 3 ribbon bow, 4 ribbon bow, 5 ribbon bow, tree topper bow. We had all of that on here. All right, so here we're going to do our bow. We're going to start with our 7-inch tail, pinch, lay it down on our mat to 12 inches, bring it to the back. Now you can twist, but one thing you think about if you've got this double ribbon, what happens if we don't twist? Because look, it's got that pretty on the back right here. So let's not twist, all right? I'm going to probably confuse you a little bit. I am not twisting towards me like I normally do. Instead, I'm going to take this and lay it down on the mat to 12 inches and take this away from me towards the back. Pinch. I don't know what this is going to look like. We'll see. So we've got 1 loop gold, 1 loop red. Let's go ahead and make this one gold as well. So we have to twist away from us in order to bring the gold to the front. How's that? Isn't that interesting? This will be kind of interesting. And then we'll cut right here. That's pretty. Okay, so now let's do our other layer. Remember, we're going to reverse what we just did. This is very thick. Laying out the 12 inches, take it to the back. This is another prime example of why I said there is no right or wrong way to make a bow. And we're going to twist it away from us above our thumb, 12 inches, bring it away from us and pleat, twist towards us, lay it down on the mat to 12 inches, take it away from us, pleat, and twist, cut. This is literally like working with leather right here. All right, let me bring our loops towards the front. I'm already looking at this one. It feels like the blue could have been on the back side because it feels a little more dominant. Don't you think? But I like it intermingled. And now let's bring in our red on the top, 12 inches. I'm not going to twist. We have some gold right here. You see how I'm getting this situated? I want gold here and then gold over here. And we've got red streamer and then we've got a red bow. So that's good. And then what I think I could do is another red streamer right here. All right, so this is our bow. If you don't like the gold showing, remember you're going to twist if you don't have double-sided. I wanted just to try it because, you know, it's double-sided. That's kind of cute. Where's my wire? And then we're going to twist this or turn it over, we're going to lift up our pointer finger to get the wire under and twist it around. Just like that. And twist our bow. This to me would be a great color for a nutcracker theme, don't you think? The blue, the green, and the red, and the gold. All right, let's just shift this. Remember, we have a center loop. That's kind of cute. Let's see if that's good. And now what I want to do is say, okay, where do I want my gold to be? And where there's gold right here, I'm going to flip this around to give a red edge. So we've got gold over here. Let's do a gold over on this side. So let's turn it over. We're going to also roll over this edge. Okay, and then we've got this blue is all I'm going to do is trim it this way. Just to give it a little bit of a angle. And for these red ones, we can just fold the gold over. So this hopefully gives you an idea when you're using ribbon that's double-sided. Hey, that's kind of fun. Definitely fun. There's one we forgot to do. So there you go. We've made our bow using 2 ribbons. We've got, this one was our first one that we made. Then we made this one. They're all using 2.5 inch. And then we used this one with our 1.5 inch in the center. And then we incorporated this one that had the 2-sided, giving you the techniques for, you know, twisting or not twisting in order to have both sides showing. How fun was that? You guys, thank y'all so much for joining me today. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you like these videos and you want to learn more. I think tomorrow we'll do, or later, maybe tonight, I don't know if I'll have time, we'll do another bow tutorial, and it'll be more of a traditional red velvet Christmas bow. This to me was more of a compact. It is a traditional, but I wanted to show you how to do more of an airy bow. So that's probably something we'll handle tonight. But thank y'all for joining me. I hope you learned something. I hope I inspired you. You guys can do this. Keep practicing. And let me know in the comments below what you would like to see more of or learn more of, because I take your questions and that's how I know what videos to do for you, all right? But don't forget to subscribe and follow and share the channel so that you'll be notified when we have another live, and I don't want you to miss it. And thanks for all of you who are definitely sharing and following along. Yeah, Sheena's like, I like the gold. It definitely makes a difference. It does. It really is making